The National Council of Churches the other day came out with full guns blazing. They called William Ruto a liar, and they said William Ruto can no longer be trusted. They rejected William Ruto's donations. They talked about the SHA, and they wanted the SHA to be suspended for a while until proper mechanisms are put in place in the transition. They called on Kenyans to ensure that they push the judiciary and the executive together with the legislative arm of the government to give us a restructured IEBC with new commissions. And one thing that they told Kenyans is that we've got our destiny in our hands and that we need to push for the reforms. Otherwise, this regime is taking us down.
That the judiciary concludes the cases touching on IEBC within the next 2 weeks. We must get back our democracy.
Now, with that kind of pressure, the judiciary decided to clean their hands, and they came out through one of their judges, and they told Kenyans that they don't have a problem. The problem is with our parties because there is a case that is an obstacle to appointment of commissioners. In that statement, Judge Isaac Lenaola also gave us a hint that there could be plans, some clandestine plans to rig 2027 elections. They disowned Ruto, they disowned Parliament, telling them, you do your part. Because Isaac is wondering how we can stay for over 11 months without a by-election. There are several by-elections pending. An election is just 3 years to come. We don't have an election, and he's reading mischief.
Those of you who followed the Rigiji saga will remember that at some point the judiciary website, the online filing system, went down. I want you to carry this question into 2027. Why did that online platform collapse? Why did the firewalls that we created before 2022 suddenly become vulnerable? And imagine what may happen in 2027. I will say no more, but think about it. To be tabled in Parliament. I don't understand why our Parliament, and by the way, I'm one of those judges who's not limited in expressing my mind. So you not expect me to say Parliament has done wrong, the President has not done. I speak my mind because I don't understand why, for example, we are busy passing legislation very quickly on other subjects that are politically important, but we don't look at what is extremely important for this country. The Electoral Commission. How can a country like ours stand on its feet if it does not have an Electoral Commission? Elections are in 2027. This is 2024. When will this commission be prepared? But why don't we use social media to impact on legislation? Why don't we, for example, have a hashtag, appoint IEBC, now, and spread it? Those who have opportunity will actually follow it, and they will do something. Why is social media, why is the IEBC not being constituted? Because Azimio can't appoint their representative to the panel. Is that something to hold a country hostage for 2 years? So how can we use social media positively to impact on legislation?
There seems to be suspicion that this government is planning to rig elections come 2027 because it is not only Isaac Lenaola that gave that hint. Gathoni Mushomba has also hinted, saying that there are advanced plans to ensure that William Ruto rigs election come 2027.
But we know what is going on. We know people are preparing to rig elections in 2027. We know people are planning various ways of making sure they deny some people some citizenship and also allow other citizenship who do not deserve. So we know those are political games that are being played so that people can play games during the oncoming general elections.
Come 2027.
Yes.
You mentioned about...
Not only that, ladies and gentlemen, Kalonzo Musyoka is also reading mischief in this procrastination in appointing the new IEBC commissioners. And is saying that this time round, no one should attempt to take Kenyans for granted. Because if they do, it will be against their own chagrin. He's saying, remove the cases, don't stand before the implementation of the IEBC commission. The mood is that many people feel someone is about to rig elections even before we get to 2027.
Nobody can ever take Kenyans for granted. And I dare say, nobody will be seen to dare to steal the next elections. I urge those who are standing in the way of reconstituting IEBC to be able to see the bigger picture. They should set aside their narrow selfish interests in preference to the greater good of this nation. Please allow us to reconstitute IEBC as soon as possible. Please allow us. Anybody in Kenya today hearing that the Senate wishes to do with away with the live streaming of elections would just be surprised. Are we going backwards or forwards in this country?
Now, there is a danger that is waiting because everyone seems to feel that there is an air of thievery in the making. Someone feels that the government of the day is planning to rig elections, and politics is about perception. It is not only one person talking about it. Isaac Lenaola is giving the hint, and that is the judiciary. That is a judge of the Supreme Court. Kalonzo Musyoka is sharing the same sentiments as Gathoni Wamshomba. My only surprise is that the people who had led the pressure to have election reforms, who had led the pressure to ensure that we reconstituted the IEBC reforms, are now quiet. They are in government, and all of a sudden now William Ruto is good. Having an IEBC commission is not a priority now. The priority is to defend Adani deal. The priority is to warn those who are trying to question William Ruto. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, talking about rigging, from the three groups that have spoken, did you realize that there are several ways in which Kenyans feel William Ruto is about to rig elections? And I want us to look at those three secret ways. Before we do that, allow me to request you to subscribe to our channel. When you do that, don't forget to click the notification bell to allow YouTube to notify you whenever we release a video like this. Kindly like this video, it helps it grow. And I want to thank those who support this channel and all our returning subscribers. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to begin with Isaac Lenaola, one of the judges at the Supreme Court. Isaac Lenaola is reminding us that during Rigathi Gachagwa's case, that some people managed to get into the Judiciary website or something of the kind. And he's telling people that this is a red alert. He didn't say much, but he has given a warning. He has done his part so that you don't blame him. You cannot ignore the wise warning that he's giving us, that the website of these institutions are being weakened, or there are loopholes that external parties can get into the website and interfere with it. And that is the red alert that is giving. He has done his part. Now, the only thing that worries me is that if he alludes to the fact that the website could be interfered with, then it could mean that even in 2022 or those other years, someone might have gotten into the website. So the number one is someone is trying to interfere with the website or weakening it, and it could be the reason why we are delaying forming the commission, so that as we approach 2027, maybe Jose Camargo is hidden somewhere within the country to interfere with that website, to ensure that they put everything in place that would enhance rigging. Number two, the deliberate delay of reconstituting the commission is something that both Kalonzo and the judiciary feels that is done deliberately to ensure that we don't prepare enough. We don't have enough time to prepare. Maybe they will dilly-dally it up to 2025. Then they bring in a new commission with fresh orders and instructions to go and interfere with the elections. But Kalonzo is preparing Kenyans. He's saying, this time around, we are not going to allow anyone. We are not going to allow anyone to play around with our rights to vote, because this is something that has happened. But you know, it takes more than just talking. If at all someone is already infiltrating the website, if at all someone has got an agenda with the procrastination of appointing commissioners, then we need to do more than just talking. But Kalonzo and the church are telling Kenyans, it is upon us. We have our destiny. And Kenyans have got this penchant of ignoring red alerts. Do you remember how Camargo was caught red-handed with election materials in 2022 at the airport? We did nothing. If it were some countries, that election would have been bought. We wouldn't have gone for that election because already the writings were on the wall. Then we went for that election after the rigging had been done. Then we want to go to Supreme Court, knowing very well that the Supreme Court is another part of the system, another part of the rot that had been put in place to ensure that William Ruto won. Then now we go to the streets and all this. It doesn't help. Let us be proactive so that we avert something before it comes. Let us not wait for all this mess to be done, then we pretend to be going to court and we go to the street. It doesn't matter. The last one, Gadhano Mushobe is saying that there is a deliberate effort to give certain member of the race. There are people who, I understand, come into the country and they are given citizenship because they've got full instructions that come 2027, you're going to vote a particular candidate. And that can easily happen. You know the kind of a nation that we have. Of late, you've realized that there are several foreigners in the country. And it is not bad. We have Kenyans who are also living in other foreign countries. But the suspicion is some of them could be part of the rigging system. So that once they have been brought into the country, they are going to be given, they're going to be allowed to vote. And of course, once this happens, they will vote for a particular candidate. So there are several ways of killing a rat. And if the country is not careful, we will continue crying foul. I also understand that there are plans to deliberately delay Gen Zs to get IDs. There are deliberate efforts to try and delay the production of these IDs. That is why the fees was exorbitantly put at, was it 1,000 shillings for you to get an ID or something? Because they know some of these might not even afford that 1,000 shillings, or they will feel that it is not a priority. So let us be very vigilant, because if we are not careful, the election has already been rigged. And I feel that maybe Camargo is somewhere. Whenever you see some people who have got authority to undertake something continue to delay very deliberately, know that something is cooking and it is not something that is palatable to us. Do you think there are plans to rig? And if at all there will be plans, what are some of the very many methods that they can use? Because Kalonzo is giving us the IEBC. Isaac Lenaola is talking of the IEBC and a possibility of infiltrating the website. And Gadhano Mushobe is saying maybe they are foreigners. I don't know what to think, ladies and gentlemen.